Happy Wednesday and welcome back to Kimberly's Cocoon. As you can see from the title, this is going to be a studio/nursery tour. For those of you who've been with me for a while, you've seen a tour of this space before. However, because of the water issue we had back in May, we do have new flooring down here, which I will show you. The rest of the what's the word I'm looking for? Oh darn, I can't think of the right word. The rest of the solution was exteriorly, window wells and bigger gutters and such, so that will not be part of the tour. But because I had to get everything off the floor and moved around while all this was happening, the redoing of the floor, I made some changes. So I've decided to give an entire tour again. So for those of you who've seen my space, you might notice some changes, and those of you who are new, welcome. Welcome to Kimberly's Cocoon. This is where I create all the babies and where I enjoy my collection. You are staring at the side of a new piece. I am on the bottom step coming down from upstairs, and I'm going to come around here and show you what you've been staring at while I've done my little intro. This is a bookcase I received for Christmas, which I was going to turn into my Blythe house, and I may still do so. I'm not 100% sure yet, but for now, my Blythe girls are sitting up here on this picnic bench enjoying some time together. There's Pip. Pip was a birthday present from Myra and Myra's little bugs. She created her and gave her to me. Isn't she gorgeous? And she's wearing a beautiful dress from Suzanne, Baby Bunting Nursery, Suzanne in Australia. She sent me that beautiful dress for her. And then we have Miss Amethyst. She was a gift to myself for my birthday. Was it my birthday? Yes, I believe it was my birthday. No, because Calcadon was my birthday girl. I think I just ordered her for myself. Anyway, I bought her for myself. So we have Pip and Amethyst up there. And then my original plan was to make a bedroom for each of them, like a reading nook and whatever. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet or not. But on this shelf, I have all their stuff. Hair ties, hats, backpacks, accessories, socks and tights, all their clothes and shoes. And then down here's like a little, could be a reading nook. Don't have any books quite yet, but they do have a little laptop, a Mac of course. And this little reading pillow and neck pillow came from Amanda of Little Reborn Princess. And I had this little wicker chair and a little tiny teddy. This came with Amethyst. And then I did decide to set up my children's books out here, because you'll see when I get in the nursery, I didn't have the space anymore on my bookcase that I did have some of these books before, and then the rest were still in a bin in my closet. This is all I have left from my children's book collection, which probably had, over 1,000 books. So this is what I have left. Some are from my childhood, and others are just books that I loved during my childhood and have acquired, or even some I fell in love with as an adult. And then here, I've got to come up with a solution yet for this. This is my cluster stuff and polyfill. I really wish that box would fit down there, but it does not. When I ordered this, see, that one I had vacuum sealed down and it puffed back up. I just finished my last ones. The last one, not the... Anyway, several came in the order of this. It looks like a pillow, but it's got cluster stuff inside of it. And I just finished the other one I had open, and now I'm going to open this one. So I want to come up with a system, maybe get myself a couple bins that look nice there, and I can just open and pull some out. So that's that for now. And then that is part of my photo props, that branch. And this is my kit storage. This is where all my kits are stored. They are in alphabetical order, and then there are little name tags there so I can see who's in each row. And as you can see, each piece is wrapped in tissue paper, and then they're stored in a plastic bag. So that keeps them, safe and from getting moisture or anything. And then let me step back. Oh, I'll show you the floor. So this is the floor. It is called Luxury Vinyl Plank. We did used to have carpeting down here. It was an indoor-outdoor carpet, but it did get ruined. So that's the new flooring. This is my photo shoot area. Got photo lights. That curtain up there opens. There's a window behind there so I can get natural light flooding in there too. And then my photo prop area is in the same place. I did go through here and I did get rid of some photo props that I was no longer using or decided I didn't want. So that's my photo prop area. And then there's extra photo props, smaller ones in these drawers. And then behind me here, there's some stuff hanging there that's photo props. I'm in the process of doing laundry. I just folded linens. So here are all the fabric photo props behind me. And then inspiration photos hang up there. And then behind here I have things like mineral spirits. I don't know why those are open. Mineral spirits and, you know, pads for the table, glues, all that kind of stuff. I love all the built-ins in this basement. Here is where I paint. This is my paint table. And then here this is where those white muslin blankets are. When I have a kit finished and I'm working on hair, all the limbs are wrapped in a white muslin blanket. It's stored in there until the entire kit is ready to be put together. And then here is where the babies come to life. I have 2 babies I'm working on. I was actually working on those 2 babies because one of them was going to go with me. I was going to be taking the hair painting class at the Kansas Doll Show, but due to everything that's gone on and my not working, creating for probably almost 3 months. I did a little bit in between here and there, but you know, like a normal rhythm was gone. I am not going to the Kansas Doll Show, which I am disappointed about. There are several ladies I was looking forward to seeing again, as well as some new ladies I was going to be meeting. But unfortunately this year it's not going to work for me. I still go back and forth about maybe I could just drive there for a day, but I've not canceled my hotel room yet, but I did cancel the class. So anyway, but here's just where I store things. This is all a built-in that came with, which is wonderful because I have, this side has bodies are in the bottom. I'm not going to open all these drawers. There's bodies, zip ties in one drawer, and nylons for the filling, and paperwork and receipts, and over here I have tissue and, you know, tape and scissors and the candy that goes in the bottles and all that, stickers and stuff like that. Those are those 3 down there are weighting materials that I use, the different kinds of glass beads and such. Actually, I have a box upstairs I need to bring down. I was out of town part of last week and over the weekend, and I had ordered that size glass beads in the middle, and those arrived while I was gone. They're up in my foyer. I got it's 25 pounds though, it's so heavy. And then I keep extra down here, which is what I fill those from. And I've got bottles here that go home with babies. I've got those little drawers have bracelets, necklace, earrings, some hair bands. This used to, remember, it had all my disposable diapers, which right now are in the nursery in a box, because I was going back and forth about selling them to somebody or maybe keeping some. So for now I'm keeping them, because I think I mentioned that in another video. These are mainly non-disposables. The disposables that are in here are little teeny tiny ones. These ones I tend to wrap my Joy Bubble in, which is why I kept them. So those are my collection of going home with baby non-disposable diapers. Got my books up there, headbands I've made, and then this is all headbands, socks, pacifiers, onesies, the plain white onesies that I do my Kimberly's Cocoon on, and what's down there? Hats. So that's all that. And here's where I keep all my towels. And then here, this is one change. Look who's out here. The Queen. Queen Isabella with Dear Suzanne are out here keeping me company. And I did hang this picture here and this picture. I need to get something for there. That space needs something. And so let me step back so you can see. The Queen is here. And then that is where Zipporah, no, not Zipporah, where Zolani is sometimes. But as you can see, she's not there. And then back here is pretty much still the same. It's where I store all my kits I'm working on, or babies that are on layaway, where I put their stuff that they're going to go with. And that's where I keep my folders and my hairbrushes. And this is new back here. It's kind of dark. That trunk used to be where the white bookcase is. So I've created a whole shipping system with boxes. That's a box of bubble wrap, but I still have some on a roll. So that's all that, and then those bins and stuff are yarn. So the rest is all like personal stuff. Oh, and this basket's full of blankets that go home with babies. And this is also new. This chest freezer used to be this way. But remember where the queen is, I had that hanging system for going home with baby's clothes. So now I've done this. I have everything in drawers. They're all labeled by size and gender. Preemie girl, girls pajamas, girls onesies. Newborn girl, 0 to 3 month girl, 3 to 6 girl. Preemie boys in hats, boys pajamas and onesies, newborn to 3 months boys. Handmade clothes, large girls. Oh, and that says extras. I've got a couple lubbies down there, and then there's some lubbies. This is all shoes, even in there. That's all shoes. So that's new there. And then that's all like food and stuff. So that is my creative space. Everything's still all together in terms of where I paint, where I do photos, etc., etc. And then there's the floor. Now this rug here is what the whole rug was before, but luckily there was this piece because I kept it, and I'm putting it in front of the washer and dryer. And then back here, I just did some ironing, so that's cooling. There is my oven, and then this one has the wooden dowel system for when I seal the babies. Now these two units used to be in the nursery, and I don't know if you can see the water line down there. They absorbed water, so I was going to actually get rid of them. But I decided for now to use them here, and as you can see I have a couple things on the shelf. It's a baking sheet that I have a muslin on top of for when the pieces are cooling. I've got some towels there. I like to use a towel to take the babies out of the oven and stuff. And that's just a nice place for that oven to sit when I'm not using it. So for now that's there. And now we're going to go in the oh wait, this you didn't see from afar. This is also photo prop stuff here. And now we have a little greeter at the nursery. This was my childhood rocking chair and my childhood Raggedy Ann doll that was made by one of my mom's friends when I was a little girl. And she had 3 daughters, and all of her daughters got one, as did I. But sadly, it doesn't fit in the nursery anymore, my little rocking chair. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift it up. We're going to stand in the doorway, and you can see kind of I'll just do an overview. I should move my chair out. Normally y'all don't see my chair. I'll just kind of do an overview, and then I'll go around and explain everything. So that's kind of an overview. So now let me slide this chair out all the way, and we'll come inside. As you can see, this has that same flooring. So I do need to kind of figure, I think I said in a video I was like 99% done. What's not done is like art. So I need to like maybe reconfigure these. I'm not aesthetically liking the layout. This my mom made for me when I was a little girl. This little, is it not decoupage? No, that's not the right word. Paper tooling, I think that's what it's called. And it's like a little girl who's kind of Holly Hobbyish feeding her Raggedy Ann doll. That was so me right there. I still have that. There's my tripod. And then here's my vintage scale with a few other vintage items around it, some bottles and rattles, an old Vaseline jar, baby powder. Let me step back and explain a little bit. When I had originally set this up, I still wanted this wooden shelf to go across the top. But I really wanted these towers to fit, you know, lined up with all the way to the end. But as you can see, the shelf didn't reach. So I had originally put them in the center, which gave me, you know, a third of the shelf and a third of the shelf, which meant this did not fit the vintage scale. So I elected to then move them all the way to the right, and the shelves do have a little overhang, but I'm okay with that. So, because when I set all of this up over here, which I'll explain in a moment, I knew I wanted this piece that I normally have the boppy loungers on, which is where a lot of my videos start, where I change babies and stuff. That used to actually be on the opposite side of the room. I wanted that between the 9-piece cube units. which now meant it was too far for this shelf. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so it gives me a little less storage space because I'm out 6 cube holes, which are now out where I just showed you. But I really love the layout, actually. And so instead of the Boppy Loungers on this table, I have 2 Moses baskets. Because what I tried to do is get as much off the floor, because God forbid anything like that happen again. I wanted as much off the floor as possible that would be ruined. And while there is still wood on the floor, you know, I know that's not a good thing, but the Moses baskets, they're just, you know, it's a natural fiber, but I just didn't want them on the floor. Luckily, none of this got ruined during the seepage just because of the way it came in. So right now this basket is empty, the one on the left. It just has a little lovey in there. I did leave it empty because I figure at some point there's going to be babies on layaway, and I want space for them in here. I do have a couple blank kits set up. The next basket, there's my Eeyore. Look at how cute he is. The next basket has the Toby kit and the Sophia Grace. As you can see, Sophia Grace did have a costume change. She was wearing a beautiful velour, a minty green velour pajama forever. But with her and Toby together, she just looked super hot. And so I put her in this cute little sleeveless romper with the lovely paisley print all over it. It's yellow and has lovely paisley that's in pink and blue and green, and there's flowers. It's just beautiful. And then if y'all remember this picture frame that are photos that I took in Ethiopia, this used to be over where the bookcase is, where the Blythe dolls are, and because of the height of that, the distance between the top of that and the ceiling, this did not fit. And I had this blank, and I was like, what am I going to put in that big space? Well, look at this. It fits perfectly. And there's my Joy Bubble. And then up there that's my last porcelain doll from my porcelain doll collection. I have a lovely candle from Sharon and May, Marilyn May Farm. That one is Tart Apple. It smells divine. And then these are my childhood dolls up here. And then there's the nanny of the nursery, Nunu Silence. And this is Calcadon. She was my birthday gift to myself from Tara's Dolls. Beautiful, beautiful doll. And there's my one Miola teddy bear. And then, I'm not going to open all the bins, but the things in these bins are my baby's things. And then over on this side, that side has the vintage scale. This side has my little fairy wooden house, and I put Raggedy Ann up there. And there's my little resin baby from Marita Winters. All this art was able to stay the same. I don't think I moved any other art. No. And then here's the other rocking chair, and I have Genevieve and Vijagne are sharing it, because one of the things I got rid of was that cradle rocking thing I had. That Vijagne used to sit in the rocker and Zipporah sat in the cradle. So that I no longer have. So they're sharing that chair. There's Mary Elizabeth. Mary Elizabeth is the doll I was given the day I was born. There's Jeremiah. He's a little resin baby by Jenny Raymond. Back there is the closet. That was a gift from Judy for Christmas, I believe. That is Calcadon's wardrobe. And then this here, y'all remember in Ohio and Texas I had a day bed, and I have missed having a day bed so very much. I loved being able to sit up. Oh, let me fix that. I love being able to sit up and be at this height. And so I did some research about getting a day bed. I did look at the exact same one I had before, but again, I'm like, do I really want wood on the floor? Blah, blah, blah. And then I was looking at an iron bed and all this stuff. And so I believe I shared with you guys that I did do a little painting in here for about maybe not quite a week. While I was waiting for the tile to come in, I had gone to Walmart and purchased another folding table. So while I was sitting here painting, I thought, I bet I could make this folding table look like a bed. That is exactly what this is. This is a folding table. So for those of you who would love a day bed setup, but don't want to spend the money on a day bed or don't need a day bed, let's say you have the space to have babies but you don't necessarily need a guest bed or anything. This is a folding table from Walmart. I think it was $35, $38, something like that. And I have it looks puffy because I have a duvet underneath of the quilt to give it that soft feel. And this is a king size skirt that we're no longer using on our bed, that actually is just around the legs, and I have it tied in the back. I know I'm giving away my secrets, but it's a great idea for anybody who wants to create a bed but doesn't want a bed. I think it looks fabulous. So, and up here we have my little Romy Stridum Romy. And then here we have Lucy Ray. She says, "Hi, Mommy. It's been forever. Kimberly has not been making videos." I love you. Kimberly's trying to get back into the groove of things, ladies. It's been a interesting few months, as I've shared. But I am going to do my best now to go back to making videos with a more regular pattern like I used to have. But anyway, and then here we have Saffron and Sapphira and somebody new. I was able during this time to acquire a braid-in kit. For those of you who know the story, I have wanted to paint a baby boy and name him Atticus, because if I would have had a son, his name would have been Atticus Finley, after Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird. And I did purchase originally 2 Atticus kits because I was so enthralled with the name. And I did have one set up for the longest time, but I decided I sold one kit and I kept one to adopt out eventually, because that was not my Atticus. When I painted the braid-in kit, who now lives with his mommy, and she's very, very happy with him, I knew that was not how my Atticus is going. He'll look different. But that was the kit I knew needed to be my Atticus. And so I was able to get one. Oh, I think he's been here now maybe a month or so. I'm not sure. But there he is with his sister. So they're going to be triplets. So it's Saffron, Atticus, and Sapphira. And together that's SAS. So they're my sassy triplets. He will never be the first place because I don't want those letters lined up. Anyway, he is wearing a beautiful knit set romper and booties from Suzanne of Suzanne Babies. She is no longer making videos, but I don't know if she's still watching. If she is, she did make this. And I purchased this from her a while ago, and it was for a while on my other Atticus. But when I realized he was not going to be my keeper baby, that is whenever this came off of him, that is when I realized. So it is a beautiful kit, but it just wasn't my Atticus. And I'm just so thrilled. Just having him even in kit form brings me so much joy. And there's my mascot, my Kimberly's Cocoon butterfly that I made. And then the Kimberly's Cocoon up there, the K and the C. Liz made those for me. Bless you, Liz. Aren't they beautiful? She did an amazing job. And I got a couple new bears. I actually got these. This one's lavender and this one's kind of a sage green, because I was going to I have another quilt that's lavender and sage green, but it was darker. And I also had this quilt, and this one I like better. I think this matches more my Kimberly's Cocoon coloring. So I still kept them because I think they fit in. And then here's Miss Zipporah, all lounged out here on the Boppy Lounger. And then up here I have these 2 dolls. This is Melanie. She was gifted to me by Melanie, and her arm says, "Celebrate every tiny victory," and boy do I. Oh. And then this beautiful frog was also from Liz. And this beautiful painting, or drawing, was from Virginia, drew that, and Virginia also drew Vigenye. She loves Vigenye. That I got in Ethiopia. And then this, I don't think she makes videos anymore. This was made by Candace. I don't remember her channel. Oh, I've not been saying channel names. Forgive me. I knew I shouldn't start doing that. And then these are from Soul Whisper Artist. She is not a YouTube person, but she's somebody I've been following for years and getting stuff from. And then there's Malachi, the Frogman. Boom! Oh, Herlanda did that so well in her video. There's the Frogman and his lily pad with all his frogs. He has a new one. I got this one. Listen. Isn't that so fun? And I have him, let me see if I can do it one-handed. Get him to rest back on he's resting on the strap of the Moses basket there. because there wasn't room for him in the lily pad. I might have to downsize some of his frog friends because really it's just getting crowded in there. There's Vigenier's bookshelf. I did not move that, even though she's over there. But I'm going to step back because I did contemplate putting their rocker there. But I like this lineup of the two Moses basket stands and my my pram stand. There she is. There's Miss Zolani and her doll. She's in my pram right now. And then here we have Abigail and Juliet. They are best friends, these two. And then here's my little child vintage high chair with a bunny on it. And there's the Evangeline kit. She's in this little crib here. So yeah, and there's this beautiful Atticus and Scout that Debbie drew. Isn't that just so stunning? Hope your puppy's doing well, Debbie. Anyway, so ladies, I just am so happy. Today feels like the start of something new for me, because not having my workspace, well, having my workspace in such a shambles for me, I think I shared with you guys, like laundry days were really hard for me, like coming down here over and over to put the laundry in and do the fabric softener, and you know, just seeing everything in the state that it was in. It was hard for me. I found myself going out to run errands and taking longer and taking the longer route home and driving around, and I don't like that, because to me home is my favorite place to be. But anyway, and then there were some other things going on, some really important decisions that needed to be made, and they have been made now. So I just finally feel like, okay, I can go back to my normal routines. I can go back to doing things. That hiccup is over now. I can move on. And here we are. So let me update you a little bit. I'll just kind of keep touring you around the room as I do while I update you on all things Kimberly's Cocoon. So when all this happened, I was in the process of working on a couple babies. And once all this happened and I saw the timing, because we rent here, we do not own this house, so it wasn't up to me when things were done. Plus, lots of people in this area were affected even worse than we were. Like, people took in sewage water and a couple feet of water. So I really have nothing to complain about. We just got rain seepage. It wasn't even, you know, you could walk in it. It wasn't like deep or anything, because it was all flowing to the drain. But you know, it did make a huge mess. So those people obviously were a higher priority, and I understood that, and I understand it still. So all of the timing was out of my control, and that's when I started thinking, well, how will I have a baby ready for the Kansas Doll Show? And I'm like, well, if I'm meant to go, it'll work out. You know, let it go, just manage what you can. And so I got to a point where I finished 2 babies. One I decided to root, and one I decided to attempt painted hair on. And so the one that I'm rooting is still in the process of being rooted. I'm not quite halfway done. For those of you who are new, it takes me quite a while to root these days. I have arthritis in my hands, and so I have to pace myself. So I have to root for a certain amount of time and then give myself a break and go back to it. That's one of the ways I have found to keep my hands from hurting so much. And so I have been steadily rooting for the last several weeks. I'm not quite halfway done. As I said, I was out of town last week and over the weekend. So I'm going to get back into my rooting rhythm. And then the baby with the painted hair, I will have a peaceful baby coming very soon. It was a peaceful baby. And then the 2 babies that are on my table are actually also peaceful babies. So please don't ask anything about them. If you did see who they are in my little tour, I probably should have moved them off my table. But they are both going to be peaceful babies. And that is because one of the 2 of them was going to be the head that I was taking with to the Kansas Doll Show. And I would never take a baby to a class that had a potential mommy, if that makes sense. So they will both eventually be peaceful babies. I for sure will be painting hair on one of them. The other one I'm not sure yet. I did, again, during all of this, even before I canceled the Kansas Doll Show, I had ordered a hair painting tutorial, which arrived during all this, and so I was able to do that with the baby. That will probably be my next video. The baby is done. I want to do the baby's photo shoot before I introduce the baby. But the next video will be the introduction of that baby. The photo shoot will come, you know, after that. So, but I do want to work on it. So anyway, so that's what's been going on creative wise. Yes, I can talk. You know, I have been slowly working here and there, but like I said, I am so looking forward to going back to my normal routines of, you know, certain days I do certain things and have times for painting and times for rooting and all that stuff. So, and I did get some new yarn. When I was out of town, I saw Michael's, so I went to it because there's this new yarn I've been wanting to try. And I know I could order it, but, you know, I just hadn't. And so I got some new yarn. So it'll probably be, I make something, you know, photo prop-ish for my photos. So I need to get some crocheting it eventually. But anyway, so for all of you who've been patiently waiting for a baby, I am getting back to work. I do appreciate everybody and how patient you are. Nobody bothers me and messages me, you know, complaining or whatever. So I'm very grateful. I have the best clients, I guess is what I should say, or mommies out there. I'm very, very blessed with the people who adopt my babies, and so thankful for all of you and thankful for all your patience. And I'm just so excited to just get back to a normal routine and you know, just get on with moving forward. And I also, you know, one of the days, was it Saturday? Friday or Saturday? I think it was Saturday. I did go through my history. I did a lot of thumbs up. I left a few comments here and there. I have enjoyed videos, and you know, it's just one of those things, and we've talked about it before, finding the balance of keeping up with comments and replies, and I had to embrace the heart button or the love button during all this, and I'll probably carry on doing that because you know, it works. And that was hard for me, I'll be honest. But anyway, all right, everybody, thank you so very much for stopping by today and seeing my new setup in my studio and nursery. A lot of it's the same, but there are a handful of things new, so I hope it was interesting enough for those of you who've been with me for a long time. And I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I wanted to update you guys on, but I think that is all. Oh, I will tell you, the thing I used to have in here, the macrame bed that Saffron and Sapphira used to lay in, and then Queen Isabella's round bed was under that. I still have it. I've taken it apart. It was very precarious, and it was fine. I enjoyed it. I loved it. But that macrame piece, I loved it hanging off the wall like I had it in Texas, kind of off to the side. And it was a beautiful focal point in here while I had it. But Atticus doesn't fit in there properly with the two of them, and I want them together. So, that is, you know, and when I came up with this daybed idea, there was really no other place to put that in here, because it did have a big footprint. It would have stuck out too far over here on the side, so I elected to take it down. Oh, and this blanket here is from Katie. I'm trying to point out everything. I know I probably missed half a dozen or more things, and forgive me if something in here is from you and I didn't mention it. But anyway, I thought of that because my Joy Bubble is now here. Y'all know I end my videos with my Joy Bubble, and it used to hang from that unit. But now it's over here by my Always Choose Joy. And remember, everybody, each and every day, find at least one thing to be joyful for. Remember, what we feed grows. So feed your joy and it will grow. All right, everybody, thank you so very much for stopping by. Have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.